What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be looking at the new Detroit Lions. Okay, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions' new culture that they are instilling into the Lions. Let's get right into the video. If you want an awesome watch, click the top link in the description and use the discount code DoseOfDion for 10% off your purchase. Later today or some other time, my next video, I don't know if it's going to be the next one, I'm going to have a video talking about the good and the need for improvement category for the Detroit Lions, okay? So we'll look at those. But in this video, we're really going to be talking about how the Lions are changing the culture and what this new culture looks like and what the main difference is. And I think we all know what the main difference is. It's winning. The Detroit Lions are winning football games, and that is what it comes down to at the end of the day. Your record says what you are. Have you ever heard that? I've heard that before. I can't remember who said it, but I've heard it before. I think Lions have even said that before, that you are what your record says you are. And at this point, our record says that we are 2-0-1, which to me sounds pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It sounds pretty good. Now, obviously, I have to throw out ESPN here. 0-11. Good job, guys. I'm glad you guys made that great article, great prediction. You know, the simulation. You guys were really on top of that for sure. I just want to throw that in there. But this team is definitely different than before, okay, because we're winning. They are very resilient. Like Marvin Jones Jr. said, we are resilient. Okay. Then Matt Patricia has also been saying in the locker room, if you haven't seen him in the locker room after games, you have to go watch those. Those are so good. Those get you hyped, man. It was like, oh, okay, Matt. Look, that's how I feel when I'm watching those. He said that they keep pushing and they empty the tank every single week. You know, they fill it up during the week and they empty it during the weekend on their football game. And they have, and that's why they've been winning games. And a lot of people are talking about right now about the Detroit Lions is not only are they winning, but they're winning when they're not playing their best, okay? In the past, the Detroit Lions would have to play a really good game to win the game, to get a win. If you're trying to steal one, especially if you're playing a better team, if you're the underdog, if you're on the road. When you're playing a better team, usually you have to play your best to win. But the Lions aren't playing their best. We know they're not playing their best, but they're still winning games. And really, that's what it comes down to. Knowing that, hey, we're not playing our best, we're making a lot of mistakes, we can do a lot better, but we're still winning football games. That's super important. That's what September football is, okay? There's a lot of mistakes that are going to be made. There's a lot of things they have to get better at. But can you get the W's? Can you pile up the W's? Because that's very important when the season starts to wind down, okay? When you're trying to make the playoff picture, when everything goes into form, it's really important to have a lot of W's on your record. And right now, the Lions have put 2 of those together. They 0 in the second category. So right now, it's looking very good. But on the road, we were in the heat, and we beat a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, okay? We are winning games that we're not supposed to. The Lions aren't supposed to win these games. A lot of people are not expecting this. These are 2 games in a row. They were the underdogs. They were the underdogs at home versus the Chargers. They held their home turf. They took care of it. If it was ugly, it don't matter. We held serve. Then we went on the road. Big underdogs. We held serve. Injuries were definitely a factor, but we still were the underdogs, and we took care of business, and that's what it comes down to. Again, not playing our best, but we are piling up the W's, and that is what matters, okay? Now, the Eagles were the team to make the mistakes. The Chargers were the team to make the mistakes. They shot themselves in the foot. They lost the game. Say however you want. If you want to say they beat themselves, you know, they should have won the game, but they beat themselves, I'm okay with it. Because I know as a Lions fan, we've been through that so many times where the Lions have beat themselves. Where we've been in a position to maybe go up in the playoff picture. Where maybe other quarterbacks are hurt right near the end of the year. We're losing games because they're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're blowing leads. We're not finishing games. Something along those lines. But at this time, it's not the Lions. No, other people are talking about, no, the Eagles blew this game. The Chargers blew this game, not the Lions, because they're the team that has to win. And I've always wanted to be that other team. Right now, we're experiencing that. We should be happy. But I understand there's a lot to work on. But still, the W's are what matter at the end of the day. And these are 2 back-to-back tough games that we have taken from their team, really stole, I guess you could say. Big play team that is very opportunistic, okay? And that is something that we haven't seen really since 2016, I guess I would say. When we were 9-7, we were an opportunistic defense. When we would force turnovers, that is something that is huge. And I decided to go another level to it. Not only are we an opportunistic defense, we were an opportunistic offense. We are opportunistic as a team, okay? Because we come up with big plays when you maybe would least expect them. When we need them most, we have come up with big plays. And you know, the must-have downs, we've been better at that. Not perfect, we've been better, but we've come up with a lot of big plays, okay? We're in a situation. They're at the 1-yard line, the Chargers. And what do? We get a strip sack by Jelani Tavai. As unrealistic as that may sound, it happens, and it absolutely changes the game. You could say the Chargers shot themselves in the foot. I see that as an opportunistic team, the defense, stepping up and making the play. And I have tons of examples, okay? This was the Eagles' first drive of the game, and they were inside the 10-yard line. But what did? We stood up. We stood tall. We had a breakdown in the secondary. We had a big pass last given up, but we stood tall when we needed most and held them to a field goal, which came back to be huge. As we know, we won by 3 points. Then we had the Jared Davis forced fumble, and that is not them shooting themselves in the foot. That's making a big play. We were struggling to stop the run, which I'll get into in other videos. But when we needed most, Jared Davis came out with the strip sack. Amendola, absolutely amazing, unthought of, crazy catch that he made on the sideline to get those 2 feet down. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. O-line, they were great. Okay, who would have thought after week 1 versus the Cardinals that we would have been this good offensive line? Okay, now we've been helping them out. We've been doing a lot of quick plays. We've had tight ends. We've had fullbacks helping them out. But when it comes down to it, Stafford was clean today. And now there was that one where he had to kind of like, you know what I mean? He had to kind of get out of there. But, I mean, he wasn't sacked. Okay, overall, the O-line has been great. A lot better than expected, at least I should say. We've had big-time sacks, okay? And now you may look at it statistically and be like, okay, this defensive line needs to get going, which I can agree with. But we're also not sending a lot of players. But when we've needed it, this defensive line really has shown up. And they've shown up in more ways than just sacks. Now, we had a couple of sacks versus the Eagles, which were big. But other ways that we have shown up is one that I think not a lot of people talk about is the final play of the game. The final play of the game, we forced Carson Wentz to step up and quickly get rid of it. Now, did he make a great throw and was it in his hands? Yes. But Okwara came around the edge and nearly got the football. There was multiple times where that happened. Look at the personal foul. Shouldn't have been a personal foul, but I guess that's just how the NFL does things. That's a personal foul. Trey Flowers, he got back there. And look, we're getting back there. I mean, that's a big deal. It's a big deal that we're getting back there. And the personal foul is whack. But we still get back there, and it forces him to make quicker decisions. And when you bring 3 and drop 8, I mean, if you get any kind of pressure, that's awesome. If you bring 4 and drop 7, usually any kind of pressure is awesome. I mean, we really didn't blitz at all in that entire game. We've had a great plays by the defensive line. Remember when Wentz was caught trying to run for the first down? That wasn't a sack because he got past line of scrimmage, but he took off. And what did we do? We caught up to this man. We caught up to Carson Wentz in a big 4th down. I think it was the 4th down. We caught up to him, brought him down short of the line to game. And that was huge. Okay, we did this throughout. Big time plays from the defensive line that can be easily overlooked. The blocked field goal, something that you absolutely never want to see, something that you wouldn't think would usually happen. And then once it happens, it's like, yep, we lost. This is where the game is over. Same old Lions, we lose. We lose this game on that play. We've seen so many teams lose on that. We've seen the Browns lose on that to the Ravens. Not shouting out Browns fans, but I just remember seeing that a while ago. That's just kind of the example that popped in my head. But for the Lions' sake, they stopped it. They were in their lanes. They filled their lanes. They got to stop it about the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. There was a flag which helped them out, moved them back to big midfield, and our defense stood tall and stopped them, okay? When our offense couldn't put it away, we stopped them on defense, okay? That's why you have 2 sides of the ball. Yes, you want your offense to put it away, but why not have your defense put it away? Oh, you know what I mean? Why not have that happen? Jamal Agnew, opportunistic, has a terrible first 2 weeks, you could say. Comes out in week 3, gets a 100-yard kickoff return to start the game. I mean, this is stuff I can't make up. Joe, your spike, your bot, when you spiked it, that was beautiful. That was an amazing spike, okay? I've seen a lot of spikes go wrong from players that usually don't spike the ball as touchdown celebrations. Joe Dahl, you did a really good one, okay? And you deserve it because you've been balling. Joe Dahl, you do it all. Am I right? Am I left? They are believing, and that is the difference between this team and other years. They believe in themselves. They have confidence that they can win. When you have that, it goes a long way. It's more than your roster. It's more than the scheme. Confidence in yourself and believing that we can literally win every single game that we go out to play. The message that Matt Patricia is sending that we can beat anybody on any given day is bigger than all the scheme, bigger than the team, bigger than the contracts. It's the belief that you can win, and once you start to do it, okay, it spreads, right? Virus, it spreads around to everybody, and they start to believe. And that's what's happening with the Detroit Lions. This is a new culture, okay? This is different from what we've seen. Yes, there were a lot of mistakes, and I will get into those in another video and talk about things that they have to improve upon, but they are a pretty opportunistic team that is winning, and what matters most is they're winning when they're not playing their best. And right now, when you are what your record says you are, we're 2-0-1, and I'm pretty proud of this dang team. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you, for watching, and